In this video, we are going to look at how to pass an entire array as an argument to a method. Here I've written a new method, public static void modify array, taking in an integer array. When adding it to the list of items that the method needs when it's called, we add in the int with the square brackets so that it knows that it's an array, and we give it a name. Inside of the method, I'm using a for loop, and note that there is a property of your array that is called length, and it always knows how many elements there are in the array. So when you're wanting to use for repetition, because in this case I'm needing the index value of the counter for my calculation, you can use array.length to be sure that you're not getting any looping errors or exceptions by not looping as many times as you need or looping too many times when accessing your array. Inside of the for statement, I'm using the counter value to do a multiply equals by 2 on every element that comes in from the array. When you're calling a method and passing an array, you just give it the name of the array. You don't use any square brackets or type identifiers. It looks just like any regular object or variable value. It is important to note that when you're passing an entire array to a method, you're passing it by reference. So think back or review the previous lesson on passing by value versus passing by reference. When we pass an entire method to an array, we're passing a copy of the reference. So that method will be capable of changing the values in the array at the memory source location. So once the modify array method is called and the array is passed, the for loop will change the values in memory, so when this for each statement runs to print out all of the values in the array, we will see the multiplied versions of the values that we originally gave it, not this predefined list. And you can see this when you run the application. We get 10, 12, 18, and 20, which is 5, 6, 9, and 10 multiplied by 2. It makes sense that our C# compiler system in the .NET framework passes references to arrays and other object types for performance reasons. If arrays were passed by value, then a copy of each element would have to be made before it would be passed. For large arrays or collections that are frequently used, this would waste a lot of time and consume a considerable amount of storage for copies of the array instead of just passing them by reference.